Electricity. Electricity. Static electricity is where two different insulators can be charged by friction. It is only the electrons that transfer the protons are fixed. Only insulators and isolated conductors can be used because normal conductors allow the charge to move. Losing electrons leads to a positive charge, whereas gaining electrons leads to a negative charge. Current is the rate at which charge flows through a conductor. It's measured by an ammeter. The unit is the amp. 1 amp is 1 coulomb of charge in 1 second. Here's the triangle. Potential difference. Well, the voltage across a cell or a battery is called the electromotive force. The voltage across a component is called the potential difference. It's measured by a voltmeter and the unit is the volt. 1 volt is the energy transfer between 2 points by 1 coulomb of charge. Here's a triangle. Resistance is a measure of how difficult it is for current to move through a conductor. It's calculated by dividing the voltage by the current. The unit is the ohm, where 1 ohm equals 1 volt per amp. Ohm's law states that for a metal wire at a constant temperature or a fixed resistor, potential difference is always directly proportional to current. This can be summarised as V equals IR. There's the triangle. Series circuits have components arranged one after another in a single loop. In a series circuit, the current is the same throughout, but the potential difference is shared across all the components. The total resistance in a series circuit is the sum of all the resistors. Here is a simple series circuit with a cell and a light bulb. Parallel circuits, the current splits and takes a different pathway through each component. An advantage of this is that if one component fails, the current continues to flow. In a parallel circuit, the total current is shared between the components, but the potential difference across any parallel components will be equal. Due to a higher current, the resistance of the whole circuit is lower. Here's a simple parallel circuit with a cell and 2 light bulbs. The potential difference across an open switch will equal the electromotive force. The resistance of a closed switch is 0, so that means that the potential difference across a closed switch is also 0. Power equals energy over time. Electrical power equals current times potential difference. So if we know resistance and current, power equals resistance times the square of the current. If resistance and voltage is known, then the power equals voltage squared over the resistance. There is the simple triangle. You get charged for the energy you take from the main supply. A joule is a tiny amount of energy, so they charge in larger units instead. These are kilowatt hours. 1 kilowatt hour is 3.6 million joules. Energy equals power times time. Joules equals watts times seconds, so kilowatt hours equals kilowatts times hours. Mains electricity comes from a generator, not a battery, meaning it is alternating current. In the UK, the frequency of the main supply is 50 Hz. The average voltage in the UK is 230 volts, but it ranges from plus 325 volts to minus 325 volts. Here is a graph showing the voltage over time, and that is the circuit symbol for a mains supply. A fuse is a thin piece of wire that melts under too much current. By melting, it breaks a circuit, so they protect against short circuits which could lead to fires. Fuses are placed on the live wire inside a plug. Fuses should also be larger than the normal operating current in the device. Fuses in the UK come in sizes of 3, 5 or 13 amps. Here's the circuit symbol for a fuse, and here is a fuse. Earth wires are wires from the outside of a device to a copper spike in the ground. If the outside of the device becomes live, the earth wire carries current to earth, which prevents shock and electrocution. An earth wire is only needed if the device has a conductive outer case. Here's a circuit symbol for an earth wire. A circuit breaker is similar to a fuse in that they break the circuit if a set amount of current flows. It's basically an electromagnet which lifts an iron switch open if too much current is flowing. One advantage over fuses is that circuit breakers are resettable. RCCB stands for Residual Current Circuit Breaker. It looks at the difference between the current in the live wire and the current in the neutral wire. If there is a difference, then that means current is being lost and it breaks the circuit. They help prevent against shock. In this plug, the earth wire is the top pin and it is a yellow and green colour. The neutral wire is blue and the live wire is brown and also has the fuse. Plugs in the UK are 3-pin, meaning they are very safe. The AC voltage is supplied by the live and the neutral wires. The live wire changes between plus and minus 325 volts, whilst the neutral wire is kept at 0 volts. Because there is always a potential difference between them, meaning there is always current. The earth pin at the top is longer than the others, meaning that a device is earthed before it even becomes live.